You know, it's always kind of a bummer when you have to make a video that expresses disappointment. Like making videos that are, very critical to a thing is usually lighthearted and funny, like a review of the Minecraft movie. But in that case, I wasn't really expecting much. I wasn't looking forward to that actually being good. But with Little Nightmares 3, I kinda was. The Little Nightmares franchise is one of my favorite horror series. From the beginning, I was completely enamored with the whole thing. The atmosphere, the art style, the character design, the world building. It was all my jam. I just loved it. It was exactly what I look for in horror. So what is missing here? Why doesn't this game hit the same? Well, the one word answer for that question is identity. And that is to say that this game doesn't stand out. Both previous games were similar in nature and atmosphere. Both of them stood out from each other in their own unique ways, both in the setting, but most importantly with their themes. And not only does Little Nightmares 3 lack a sense of identity, but it also lacks any themes. I mean, sure, the previous game's themes weren't exactly the most evident, right on your face things in the world, but they were solidly there if you looked closely. What I felt through my entire playthrough of Little Nightmares 3 was that the devs were simply mimicking the previous games, without really trying to innovate, to make a game that stands out. And that's where the change in developers really is evident. Supermassive Games were the ones to take over the series after Tarsier left, and their games suck. I'm kidding, but like, in my personal opinion, I don't think their games are very good. The whole Dark Anthologies thing was stupid and dumb, was badly written and cartoonishly goofy at times.
We need to outthink him. We need to be smart. Immediately.
And Until Dawn was only enjoyable for me, personally, because it was so funny, and I liked making fun of how weird the characters' facial expressions looked. Okay, so despite all this, I actually wasn't bummed out about them taking over the series. I thought, hey, Little Nightmares is a really different type of horror game. It's not supposed to be realistic, and it even is a bit cartoony. Supermassive is indeed capable of making tense and suspenseful moments in their games. So maybe when tackling this different type of experience, they will be able to really shine through and make something unique and, good. And in my humble opinion, this is the best game they've ever done. Like, I'm being negative and all, but I would not call Little Nightmares 3 a bad game at all. It's nice, it's a fun time. In a vacuum, I'd probably have no problem with it. But it's not in a vacuum. It's supposed to be the third installment of a very beloved, highly praised horror franchise that is very dear to my heart. The other two games are masterpieces in my eyes. So because of that, this game just feels underwhelming, and that's a word I've seen a lot of people use to describe this game. There's no moment in this game where I was blown away by a specific concept or set piece, that I was on the edge of my seat anticipating what was gonna happen. I was just kinda neutral the whole way through, enjoying myself, sure, but expecting more. Like I said, it just feels like Supermassive kind of copied the previous games, which in turn made this one feels like it lacks its own identity. Like every setting and scenario doesn't feel unique, it feels like stuff we've seen before, Even the monsters are still reminiscent of previous ones. Dudes with stretchy arms, citizens with distorted faces, fancy ladies with horrifying smiles, chunky dudes that eat everything. The giant baby was cool though, even if it was a very brief encounter, like we don't even defeat it. And also they took that idea from one of Tarsi's concept art for the previous game. Speaking of brief, this game is so short. Why is this so short? It's shorter than the second game. Third game in the series, guys. Not to be that person, but I 100% expected it to be longer. I think I knocked out the whole thing in like 3 hours, dude. Is it a crime that I want this to be at least the same length as the second game? $40 game, by the way, which has to be paid twice if you want to play multiplayer because there's no local co-op. Like, why? There's literally no reason for that. Back to the world though, like I said, nothing really stands out in its own unique way. Both scenarios in the game are so similar to the ones in previous games that it's really one of the most disappointing aspects of this. The most unique one is the destroyed city in the beginning with the giant baby, but that lasts like 10 minutes. Even the amusement park sequence, which had the potential to be one of the most intriguing and unique bits in the series, didn't reach the heights that it could. I also just miss having the full intrigue of the nature of this world being presented to us in a more mysterious way. The series has this nightmare-ish dystopian world where nothing is really made clear. You didn't know why the world was like that. Did everything just suck everywhere? These children that we follow, where are they going? Is there even a safe place to be in this broken world, ruled by distorted monsters? I found the whole thing so cool, like this idea that the world is just broken, but somehow, somewhere, there would be a safe place, somewhere for these children to take refuge. That is to say that I don't like the direction that the world building of the series took after Tarsier left. Okay, so this started with the Sound of Nightmares podcast, which is pretty good, but it kind of laid out to us what the world of the series was without a doubt. The series takes place in a different realm, a nightmare world called the Nowhere. The children we see are actually from from our quote-unquote real world, and they're dragged there by this one dude whose face looks like a melted candle. I don't like that. I like the idea that this world was just like that, you know, awful and dystopian, but with a small glimmer of hope that there was safety somewhere. Or at least I liked having it all be left up to interpretation, without it just being straight up told to us like this. Maybe the whole thing was Starzier's idea, doesn't sound like it, but maybe. The actual story of the game itself is fine, by the way. It's abstract and simple in a way that feels similar to the rest of the franchise. Huge spoilers, by the way. Like, I've seen people complaining about the ending, but I think the bittersweet nature of it is very fitting to Little Nightmares as a whole. So I think in terms of coming up with a new story that fit the vibe of the series, Supermassive actually did a good job. I think the way the two main characters interact is very cute and heartfelt. When I saw that the game was implying that the girl was actually the boy's imaginary friend, I rolled my eyes to the back of my head. I thought it was so lame. But it was actually a bit cooler than that, because she's not actually an imaginary friend. I mean, she was, but when the boy entered the nowhere, since this world is made of people's minds and like their dreams and, well, mostly their nightmares, she became a real person as well. And it was cool how the final section of the game connected itself neatly to the pre-established lore of the podcast. I may not be a fan of the world being that was established, but I appreciate the continuity and loose threads being addressed. Like, the final boss is the therapist dude from the podcast. That's him right there. So I like the setup, even if, well, if you didn't listen to the podcast, you'll probably be lost on why the final boss is just this weird-ass guy with glasses. But all in all, Little Nightmares 3 is a fine game. It's not awful, but being the third placement of such a beloved series, well, it's a big disappointment. I had fun playing it, but I was definitely expecting so much more. The good news is, I think I'm gonna get my fix for a truly new and innovative Little Nightmares experience when Reanimal comes out. It looks really amazing, and the demo was super promising, so I'm looking forward to it. I do hope we get to see more of our mainline series Little Nightmares though. I think Supermassive can only go up from here with the franchise. I believe they can listen to the criticism and someday deliver a game that will be way more fulfilling and cool. So good luck to them. And as for me, I'll probably just end this video right here. Bye.